NHL fantasy projections for some of the Vegas Golden Knights, total points for some of the rated VGK players.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And welcome from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available. Well, not us, but the podcast is wherever you get the podcast. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. Please make sure that you check it out there. Follow us on X at LockedOnVGK, at TD Chris G, at Tony Dasco, like you see on the screen right there. And today we are brought to you by Birddogs. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL or enter the promo code LockedOnNHL for a free water bottle with any order. You won't want to take your Birddogs off, we promise you. So, Chris, NHL.com Fantasy released the projected total points for 5 VGK players, which are the ranked players there in their top, I think 250, I think it was. And we start off with number 27, and that is Jack Eichel. The projected points is 85 for this upcoming season, and I think that this will go over. We thought he'd be a 90-ish point player a season ago. Of course, injuries always play a factor. He didn't shoot as much as we wanted him to, as much as I wanted him to last season. And I think he becomes a little bit more comfortable on both ends of the ice. What are your thoughts?
So a few things. One, every show I feel like Barbashev's name comes up and how he was the missing link to the line with Marchessault and Eichel. And Eichel went on to lead all players in playoff scoring. No coincidence that Barbashev joins the line and that happened. We should, barring something strange or Bruce Cassidy overthinking things, we should have an entire season of Barbashev, Marchessault, and Eichel. That's only going to help Jack Eichel. Health could be the only thing that hinders him from hitting that 85-point projection. 67 games played last season, 66 points, basically a point per game. That number, I would think, should at least stay flat, if not go up a tiny bit. 88 to 92 points is where I'm projecting Eichel to finish. So I will slightly lean the over, but I'm not overly excited about it for two reasons. One, health, already talked about that. And two, Eichel's two-way game, I think, is going to take a greater step forward this year. Cassidy has somewhat challenged him, mentioning how he can be a little more like Patrice Bergeron, who obviously is one of the top 2 or 3.
Everyone can be like Bergeron.
Sure, but Eichel's stats support that he could be like Bergeron. He's a long way away from it, but you got to start somewhere. And if Eichel's going to focus on his defensive game even more and his faceoffs, the scoring could go down a little bit, but help the team as a whole.
Yeah, Eichel passed up so many shots last season, and even though he passed up a lot of shots in the playoffs, he was still very effective. The next player we look at is the Mark Stone of the Stanley Cup. Had the Hattie in the final game in game number 7. I saw a story yesterday. It wasn't a story. I think it was just more someone on the national scope said a healthy Mark Stone is better than Jack Eichel, which I don't know if I agree with. But the projection there is he's 73 points, which I think is high. And I say I would take the under because I don't believe he's going to be playing in every game. I think they're going to shut him down an awful lot. 73 seems a tad high to me. He might be in the 60s or maybe the high 50s. And that's just my projection and feelings. What about you, Chris?
I mean, I think the bigger projection isn't Mark Stone's point projection. I think it's his games played projection. I did an article with Vegas Hockey Now talking about responding to ESPN's projections. And the way ESPN cuts up their projections, they do it by points total points, goals, assists, obviously. And they also put a games played projection in there. And they have Mark Stone at 50 games played. And I think that's honestly where it's going to be for, one of a couple of reasons. If Mark Stone's back has any issues, they're going to shut him down. I would expect Stone to get a lot of days off from practice. I would expect maybe him not even to play in some back-to-backs early on. There is a back-to-back Stone. That's
Yeah, I
bad,
like
bad
that. I
joke
like
right
that.
there anyway.
No, that's good.
But it just doesn't make the Golden Knights don't need Mark Stone for 82 games to win the Pacific and make the playoffs. That's been proven, obviously, last season. They do need Mark Stone as healthy as could be come playoff time, and that gives the team the best shot to win a cup. So all of that, I don't see a path. I mean, he has to play over 70 games to hit 73 points, I believe is what the projection was.
73.
And
yeah.
he's played 80 of a possible 164 games over the last 2 regular seasons. So even if he has a 60-game season, which would be magnificent if he can play 60 games this season, I don't see. I mean, if he gets 73 points 73 points in 60 games, wow, what a season, right? But that's shooting for the stars.
Okay, but he will be on the second line, so he could. He's ranked number
Howden
53.
line, right? The Brett Howden line?
On the Brett Howden line, of course. Jonathan Marchessault, he is ranked 62nd for points. His point total is rather high. We know that he'll get 30 goals, but can he get 40 helpers? Because the total that they have is 70 points, which is rather large, and I'm going to go under on this one.
I mean, I think we start by acknowledging Marchessault was the Conn Smythe once Barbashev went to his line. So I think we should definitely give some value to that. The number was 70 points, you said, Tony?
70 points.
He hit the 70-point level in season number 1 with the Vegas Golden Knights, 75 and 77 games.
He's always good. He's always good with around 30 goals. It's like, where will he get those 40 assists from is my question.
He paced that number in the shortened 2020-21 season. I mean, listen, he's 32, going to be 33 years old next season. I just don't. There has to be regression at some point with Marchessault. There just has to be, whether it's this year or next year. And NHL.com is projecting him to keep going. And, you can't have Eichel's numbers going up and Marchessault's numbers necessarily following. I know they're on the same line, but there's only so many points to go around out there. If he gets 60 points, it's a really good season. If he gets 60 points and plays all 82 games, that's a good season. I don't see him getting his second highest point season in his career as a 32/33-year-old.
I'm feeling at least 2 players get 70 or more. I don't know. I know Eichel. Not sure, though. Could be Marchessault. And then we also have Alex Pietrangelo. He's ranked 113th in fantasy, and he is projected for 55 points this upcoming season. That's way too high for me as well. I'm going to go with the under on that.
Just from a logical standpoint, how many players?
Did you say logical?
I did say logical. We don't say that too often on this podcast, but 2008. So he's coming into his 16th NHL season, 15th NHL season. I don't see him setting a career high in points because he's never had that many points. His career high is actually 54 points last season with the Golden Knights. Now, that said, he would have paced for that if he would not have missed those 9 games for his personal circumstances with his family. So the projection maybe isn't that bad. I think that I don't see his points necessarily going up a whole lot. Again, there has to be some regression at some point, right? He's a beast. He's a physical specimen because he can play all these games. He's just reliable at this stage of his career. But, Pietrangelo is someone that you could also even maybe try and save some games every now and then, or at least some practices. So I'll take the under slightly, but if he honestly had a career best given his pace last season, it wouldn't be a surprise.
The next player that they have ranked at 129th, and then there's no one else ranked in the 250, which is kind of surprising. But in any event, Ivan Barbashev. Barbashev, the total number of points they have is 66, and I'm guessing he might land right about that number. if he's healthy for this entire season. One of the pluses that we saw from Barbashev, he had 16 even strength points in the playoffs in 5v5. And so that could definitely be a factor. I think he's going to continue to score points because he does a lot of the dirty work. I think he's going to get some assists, obviously. And then because he hangs out in front of the net, I think he has a chance to finish and score some goals. I have him right around 66 myself in my head.
No, that you're in a good spot there, Tony. I guess a couple of perspectives. One is a perspective that you'll love. Dude got paid. Is he going to have the same desire, if you will? I mean, his contract, I think, more than doubled from where it previously was. Does that slow him down a little bit, aka William Karlsson? I sound like you right now, Tony. I think we should switch the nameplates or something like that for the moments. I don't necessarily see that happening, but it's something at least worth putting in our factors pile as we keep on going here. 66 points would be a career best by 6 or 66. What was the number for NHL.com? It was 66.
Yeah, 66.
So okay, I thought you said okay. So I mean, that's a career best here. NHL.com is very high on a team coming off of a Stanley Cup win in a short summer. We're not knocking the Golden Knights or anything like that. If we're going to say, okay, which player has a better shot to hit a career best in points, and if I'm going to compare Barbashev, the 26-year-old, versus Pietrangelo, or 27-year-old, versus Pietrangelo, the 33, 34-year-old coming into his 15th season, obviously I'll take Barbashev. I'll take the over on that one just because of all the comments I made about how he ignited Marchessault and Eichel. So give me a 71-point season, Tony. Give me a 71-point season. I don't like it, but I just feel like I've taken the under on the last 3, so we got to go back to going over.
Do we have any idea on when the totals are going to be out, when we could bet these numbers?
Now?
DraftKings,
okay. FanDuel. I guess I probably should focus more on the DraftKings.
Okay.
FanDuel definitely has them out there right now,
we'll keep
it's a moving target.
Okay, so we'll pass them along for sure. Coming up next, why is Brendan Brisson playing on the Golden Knights rookie team in next week's upcoming Rookie Faceoff? We discuss that next right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
Grumpy Tony segment coming up.
The September gift with a purchase of anything from Birddogs is a water bottle. And Chris and I, we both wear our Birddogs because the shorts and sweatpants, they are way so comfortable. Birddogs definitely makes you look good. Birddogs stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Birddogs shorts do the same exact thing as Lululemon, but they fit way better. In fact, Birddogs fit way better than regular shorts that are made of a stiff, restricting cotton. And Birddog fixed this issue by inventing something called cloud knit fabric. They are way so comfortable. It looks good, looks like khaki, but it stretches, gives you this way slimmer effect. And I definitely need that because you don't have to sacrifice movement, especially me on the golf course this past Sunday in Boulder City, where I was just moving.
Call me.
I'm such a hacker, dude.
So am
okay. All right. We'll get you out there sometime soon. Birddogs uses the anti-stink sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. And it's been very humid here. So you know what happens. It gets sticky, icky like that. And Birddogs are functional in any occasion. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL or enter the promo code LockedOnNHL at checkout for a free Birddogs water bottle with your order. You see right now, I'm wearing my Birddogs hat. Once again, that's birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL, the free water bottle for you at checkout. You won't want to take off your Birddogs, we promise you. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you tuning in as always, and we'll be going in a couple of weeks, less than a couple of weeks now, to our 5-day-a-week schedule. And don't forget, on Fridays, it's WTF, What the Friday, a very special show coming up. I'm all about the hype. Do you know what? It will be episode number 666.
Ooh, okay, that's good.
Ooh, 666.
God, if only it was Friday the 13th too. That would have been epic.
Ooh, we have a Friday the 13th coming up in October, I believe. But yeah,
Shocker. I always I have an honor every Friday the 13th. This is actually kind of cool. Kane Hodder has become a personal friend, I guess. We chat every now and then and stuff. Met him through he enjoys playing poker and actually is really good at charitable causes and stuff. If you have a charity poker event, he's available. He'll fly out on his own dime, hang out, whatever you want him to do to help out. Really, really cool guy. But Kane Hodder is one of the actors who played Jason in the Friday the 13th movies. So every Friday the 13th, I have the distinct honor of texting Jason Voorhees and wishing him a happy Friday the 13th. I just think that's the coolest thing in the world.
We should get him on in October, dude.
It might. Maybe I can give him a call. You should
finagle him. Okay, so again, episode number 666. So if you want to play off that theme, Chris, if you do, or if our friends out there, if they shut up, Tony.
There's my theme.
There's my theme. That's awfully mean, dude.
That was for the viewers.
The devil. Okay, that's for the viewers. Okay, so VGK's roster for the Rookie Faceoff is out, released last week, and the name that jumped out to me immediately was the 29th overall pick in the back in the 1900s in the 2020 draft, and that is Brendan Brisson, who also played with VGK's development campers. Seriously, a logical, if you will, question for you, Mr. Golick. Is VGK bringing Brisson into the Rookie Faceoff because they want to further his and evaluate his skills? I still believe that this is a make or break season coming up for Brendan Brisson. And do you feel that they might not have enough of a sample size? Do they want him to get more comfortable with the system? Why is he playing on the rookie team? And is this overblown on my end?
Yes. First of all, he's not the only player that's played in multiple rookie camps on the Golden Knights side. I got the side-by-side list here. I'll compare that a little later in the segment here. I mean, we're talking about someone who has played 65 AHL games. He played 7 games with the Silver Knights in 21-22. 58 games in 22-23. There's a few reasons you're going to put him out there. Number one is reps, get him on the ice. And, now he's kind of taking a little bit of a leadership role with all the rookies that are going to be out there and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that side of his job. I mean, it's not a big deal, if you're wearing a letter or anything like that in the rookie camp, but it certainly can help for him to show the Golden Knights what his game is, not necessarily just on the ice, but off the ice. See if he's taken a couple of these kids under his wing, just whatever it may be. You're getting him reps out there with players at a competitive level, in mid-September, which players want to do it. I'm sure he wants to do it. Another reason you're going to put him out there is you're going to showcase him. Hopefully he fits into the Golden Knights' long-term plans. I think his stats dictate at some point he's going to. You do have some forwards on the older side, and we've hinted out on how Stephenson and/or Marchessault are in a contract season, as is Will Carrier, and there's going to be some movement among the forwards next year. So maybe next year will be his opportunity. Maybe he gets into the lineup late in this year. Kind of the same path Pavel Dorofeev went on. They could also be showcasing him, like I said a second ago, because you just never know how things are going to shake out. We know McCrimmon, he is willing to utilize the prospects and the drafts as tools to get more assets for the team to win now. And then we'll figure out later down the line, So do I think Brendan Brisson's on the trade block or anything like that? Let's not even go that far yet. We're not even close to going to that route. But having more visibility and, if he does shine in rookie camp, it will get more attention on him in the event. Don't freak out, fans. Do not. It's too early. Don't start messing with me on a Wednesday morning like this. I'm not saying trade Brendan Brisson, so stop.
No.
I'm not writing an article about trading Brendan Brisson, but
it'll be out
having
today.
More eyes
it'll
on
be
it.
out today, I'm sure.
It might be.
Okay. This is
be.
where it all begins. You spoke last season, didn't you speak to Brisson? And was he a little salty, or
he was a little salty?
What
Yeah,
happened
just
there?
going
What did
down
you
memory
ask him?
lane. Just going down memory lane here. So, and again, let's remind ourselves, Brisson at the time was a 20-year-old. He's 21 years old now. So please don't put too much stock into this. It was near the start of the Silver Knights year. Brisson did not have a great start, but he had a road trip where he got like points in 5 or 6 games or something like that, and they were coming back home. So the question was, hey, you've had a real good recent run after a slow start. What changed for you? That sort of thing. Oh, well, I'm confident in my ability, and I know if I just keep doing this, things are going to happen. And just kind of very snide and stuff like that. And to be fair, there's really only one person that ever interviews these guys. Every now and then, Stephen Marsh jumps in there, but really, you only see their TV commentator kind of doing the interviews and stuff like that. So it's someone from the outside asking maybe a question that he normally wouldn't get. So I mean, I get it, I understand it, and again, he's 21 years old. We're not going to blast the kid for that. God, I sound so old right now, Tony.
Yeah,
I'm
for
so
sure.
grumpy. I'm so
You're
grumpy.
definitely grumpy. I was looking at the roster. No David Edstrom. He played in the development camp, the top pick for VGK. He's back in Sweden, I think, playing professionally, I believe. And a lot of players from the development camp are returning to play on the rookie team, trying to get all these camps aligned here. And so the draft picks, Matthew Cataford, Artu Karki, and Tomas Urinen will all be there. There's 18 forwards. I wish, again, that I would see my favorite, Jackson Hallam, out there, but he's back in school in Michigan, I think. But Jacob Brabanek is there. I think that this is my most interesting player to watch. 19 years old, played in your favorite league, which is the QMJHL. Did I get
Yes,
that
that's my
right?
favorite league. I just love the letters.
Jeez, that took a lot of work. And he also played in the 23 World Juniors, where he had 1 goal and 6 assists for the Czech team. So I definitely want to see him. Matthias Sapovalev will also be here, who was the 48th pick in the 2022 NHL draft. And those are the guys I want to see. The only player that is on the roster that was not here, and I forgot to look up where he's from and everything, pardon me, but Bear Hughes is on Bear. He's a hockey player. He's got to be, because his name is Bear.
Last name
So
is Hughes. That's also a good family name to carry. Just
right.
looking at the rosters year over year, players not named Brisson that played in multiple rookie face-off events here. Brabanek, obviously Brisson, Diamato, no more Zach Dean. He got traded. Shocker there. Hemmerling. That's just a couple right there. Is Mason Primo's going to do it again? He's a big guy right there. Defense, Ahak, Cheka. Is Cormier doing it? Cormier is doing it. 2 of the 3 goalies are going to be year over year repeats. Seville and Vickman, and our guy Jordan Papierny coming to camp as well here. That could be a heck of a story if somehow he does dress. I think he's going on 28 years old and still hasn't been officially an NHL rookie.
And he's a rookie?
He would be.
Are you kidding me?
He would be. Yeah, he would. I mean, he has to obviously get dressed for an NHL game to qualify. But yeah,
The Cassius Bear Hughes, 6'2", 166-pound center, and he played for the Hershey Bears in the 2022-23 season. They had a really good. They were down to the wire, right? In the playoffs.
I think Hershey went to the conference final, or was it the final?
I don't know. I don't remember. But I told you
It was
how
a Seattle
annoying.
team against whoever Washington's. So I think it was Hershey.
Yeah,
Whoever
it was
Washington's.
Hershey. It was Hershey. Yeah. I told you how annoying Hershey, PA is, because it smells like chocolate, but not in a good way. It's just overdose on chocolate.
I can imagine, like, when you first get there, you think it's kind of cool, and then it kind of gets to you after that.
For sure.
I mean, what kind of chocolate are you going to – you're complaining about chocolate, Tony. Okay, you're the grumpy one now.
I am.
You got the grumpy card now.
The goaltenders, there is, you mentioned, but there is no Carl Lindbaum, no Cameron Whitehead, but as you mentioned, our guy Papierny is there, Isaiah Seville, Jesper Vickman. Now, Vickman had he had a tremendous camp. He did. He played very well in development camp here. The 5th rounder of 2022, playing in the WHL, and he had that good development camp, and I think that there will be a lot of eyes on him. Isaiah Seville, I thought in development camp, I think he gave up a ton of goals, mostly to my guy, Jackson Hallam, I think.
Seville looks the part. Think he's done parts of the last 3 seasons now with the Silver Knights. So he's getting better. Definitely a good prospect that's just kind of developing. We'll see if he can make. I mean, right now, if we had to rank, he's probably he should be the backup right behind Yuri Patera. That took me a second there.
Okay.
And then after
I thought you were going to put him in there ahead of Patera there.
No, God, no. It took me a second there. That I'm still concerned about our depth of goaltending right now. But
all right, Friday. We could talk about that on Friday.
Vikman did get to play an AHL game last season. He led in 3 goals, 305 save, 8-9. So at least he got in a game last season. So that's kind of cool for the Silver Knights. But WHL, Swedish League. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Goalies, you just never know. It just kind of clicks sometimes.
Coming up next, a topic that just will not go away. Where is the cup? We thought we wrapped it up yesterday, but evidently we didn't. And we'll return and talk about where's the cup right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. You can find us on Twitter. He is at TD Chris G, as you see on the screen if you are viewing. And I am at Tony Dasco, and we are at Locked On VGK right down there. That's good. I like that. Good. And of course, coming up on Friday, we have our WTF edition in episode number 666. It's like your voice has to drop or something. You have to do something scary. I hope you have some props there for our Friday show. Show 666. Where is the Stanley Cup? Now, we thought that we wrapped up this topic. We thought we were over and done. We were reminiscing about pierogies and egg rolls and the 100-year-old grandmother drinking the jungle juice out of the cup. We thought we were done. But evidently, Rita did point out that we forgot one of the good celebrations, and that was Ivan Barbashev on the boat in Florida. That looked like it was kind of fun. But again, it was back to water and all that. Okay, cool. And
Thanks,
so
Rita.
yesterday, Alec Martinez. How could you forget about Alec Martinez? Alec Martinez had the cup. And so where did you think he took his photo?
The water.
Backdrop of water. You have to get to the bottom of this. I just don't understand. I know. So they all live near water. That's kind of cool. I guess.
I might be at the Golden Knights golf event tomorrow at the Wynn. I'm working on getting sneaking in the back door for that one. And you bet I'll ask that question to whoever I can talk to tomorrow. Like, why do you guys love the water? Why?
Get a video for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I'd like to see the impression.
Of course.
So are all the players back here yet?
Yeah. I mean, so this is the time of year, like when I'm going around, like looking coming National Hockey Now, doing my daily write-ups and stuff like that. The Capitals, Pittsburgh Penguins, Riley Smith, they're having a lot of these teams are having what they call the captain's workouts or the unofficial workouts and stuff like that. News drop if City National, if they're allowing it, if you show up any day between 9 and 10 a.m., there's a good chance you're going to see some of the boys on the ice right now. Nothing is official.
Nolan Patrick will be there.
Stop it, Tony. But yeah, so that's what's happening right now. So I would say all of the guys are probably back or will be back very, very soon. Yeah, so this is the time. Like we're here, we're skating. It's players are on the ice. Like we're only 10 days away from our first, organized activities with the Rookie Faceoff, and then training camp. And this month there will be preseason games. This is go time.
It's so different about the NHL compared to, say, the National Football League. They don't have a big camp. And so for the rookie, for the rookie camp here that they're going to have and the Rookie Face-Off, the players will just have one organized practice. Of course, we're not counting the illegal ones. Just one organized practice, and then they get into things.
That is kind of weird. That part's kind of weird.
Same thing for the NHL, because we see the Golden Knights have maybe 1 or 2 practices, and then there's an exhibition game.
Yeah.
So you don't really have a lot of time to get yourself into shape, especially if you're Mark Stone.
What if Jordan? Just think about Jordan Paperny. What if he gets to play in one of the preseason games and dress as a Golden Knight? That'd be pretty awesome.
That would be great.
I'll bet he will, because like we saw like Dylan Ferguson always getting one of the early starts and stuff like that. It would not surprise me if Papirny got in at least possibly multiple games.
Good dude. And maybe we'll get him back on the show.
We
Hopefully
should.
he's playing
Hit up his agent. He's good. He's good people.
On a regular basis. And then one final note, I do want to follow up on the discussion yesterday about Nolan Patrick, because it was a hot topic yesterday.
Twitter blew up yesterday. It felt like regular season.
Yeah, it felt like we're back, right? But again, he's had all these head injuries, but has the team ever made a statement, would be my question, about
they said he's going to miss the whole season. That's a statement.
They did say that, okay, but we've never had like an official word with the degree of all of those head injuries.
We don't need it. That's not our business.
Oh, I mean, upper body injury.
No, but they know it was related to concussions. I mean, I don't know if the team came out directly and said that, but I mean, that's the thing where, I mean, how much do we really need as media and fans? Like, dude's got concussions, multiple concussions. Spend 5 minutes on the internet, you can see everything that's happened to him. And, we're not talking about a hockey player. We're talking about, a human being and life balance and stuff like that. And he could be one hit away from being in serious. I mean, any player, I guess, is one hit away from being in serious trouble. But when these concussions add up and stuff like that, it exponentially, I'm not a doctor, but it exponentially increases the risk of something absolutely terrible happening. So, that's what we take as fans and media. And, we can let Frank Saravelli say what he wants about it. But I really would like to hear Saravelli clarify his comments at this point. So I think that's something that we're owed.
Yeah. And again, if VGK was not honest about this, we could see a grievance filed, I should say, as someone alluded to yesterday. And maybe we'll see Nolan Patrick in the
What's
rookie
the grievance?
face-off.
He still got paid last year. Like, what's Nolan
Maybe
Patrick?
We'll see him in the rookie face-off, Chris. We appreciate everyone tuning. I had to throw that in there. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Become an everydayer, of course, simply by watching us and listening each and every day. And we definitely appreciate all of you out there. Go to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe. And that is Locked On Golden Knights. Check that out. And on Friday, WTF, the special episode 666 edition. Chris, I'm expecting big things, great things out of you and the Golic fam. Maybe little Chris can be dressed up as the devil. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. And we'll see you again on Friday for my man, Chris Golic. I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We appreciate you tuning in and take care. Thanks for tuning in to Locked On Golden Knights.